That's Ontario Police. It's Ontario Police and the Ontario International Airport. And that is putting everybody at AVANATH Capital Management and Federal Prison. And I want to be clear, it's currently 3:26 p.m. And they're also engaged in exhibiting severe mental illness, while the entity that is demon possessed, that is showing an obsession with gang stalking me. That's what the demons are doing, while having an inability to control themselves based on their interests, which are also divergent at federal prosecution with regard to the people and the state itself. Like, for example, Paul Leon versus AVANATH Capital Management, who are gang stalking together, the police department and the people of the state at Woodside Senior Apartments, who are being prosecuted, while the police department, illustrated by helicopter activity, which is the criminal interference with quiet enjoyment, by the way. And then while you hear commercial plane activity, while I want to be clear, that was demonic. Remember, amplification, you're witnessing the demonic period. That was a blend of helicopter activity within plane activity, and they are both criminal conduct by the city of Ontario, whose mayor is being removed from position. That's Paul Leon. And the Ontario International Airport, which is being shut down, that's engaged in what is domestic terrorism, not engaged in the business of flights and paying for tickets to, again, who are buying these tickets in Ontario. Those are gang stalkers. So the entity is engaging in what is flying over. This is, again, the mentally ill who are witnessing my documentation as I publish it, even hostile to what they are listening to me comment on inside of the apartment. And I'll be frank, I was certainly right now just thinking out loud regarding how foolish the entity is, regarding how the feds and the rest of the world shall forever associate the to be disbanded Ontario International Airport with federal group stalking and monitoring. That is domestic terrorism. And as I am inside of the apartment, which is a private space where the city of Ontario and the people of the state who represent the city of Ontario are engaged in criminal interference together in order to monitor criminal interference with quiet enjoyment, which is the criminal contribution to public corruption by a public entity that's gang stalking through the airport. Doing so at, I just want to be clear, the entity has, looks like American Airlines has a flight from Terminal 4 at what is 3:29 p.m. Well, if it's taken off at 3:29 p.m., it would still be rising in elevation from Terminal 4, which is under no circumstances going to be at the same time. We're 3 minutes in, so the plane that was flying over right now, as the audible activity went from helicopter activity to plane activity, that was a plane that would be taking off right now. It's 3:28 p.m. So American Airlines is getting ready to take off. There is a Delta Airlines flight, however, that did take off at 3:25 p.m. They're headed to Seattle, however, and they're taking off at what is from Terminal 2, and it looks like it's a little late, so it's stating it's not taking off until 3:40 p.m. We're looking at right now what is the arrivals and the departures from the Ontario International Airport, which I have used many times in order to demonstrate how this does not even clearly demonstrate what the airport is actually engaging in, because where there are no overnight flights from what just have the two terminals, Terminal 2 and Terminal 4, which are located, by the way, at 2900 East Airport Drive and 2500 East Airport Drive, where there is no vantage point from these two terminals where they will be hovering over the apartment complex and be capable of being heard inside of this apartment like you just heard right now, however. And there's also no time that matches up with the plane activity based on what the Ontario International Airport has published regarding what it's doing as a matter of business at the airport. In addition to that, there is no vantage point where Terminal 2 and Terminal 4 is going to result in hovering over the Woodside Senior Apartments. But again, this is the same property where the fake sun that I just documented is hovering over this apartment complex. Remember, where the same city of Ontario was gang stalking through the tremendous amplification of merely emptying the dumpsters, another criminal interference with quiet enjoyment. And the fake sun was over this same apartment complex where Amazon and the city of Ontario gang stalking over the venue. That's called crossing a path and activity creation, and they're doing so with the Ontario Police Department, who, like the cowards that they are, but they're also maniacal psychopaths who are indeed obsessed with my genitalia. And because they know that I'm documenting that helicopter activity, which is a demonstration of the demonic creation of activity, it is as supernatural as the idol fake sun, it immediately alters into some method of plain activity. While the demons know I'm holding up my phone, but they would like to secretly threaten my life. They would like to secretly monitor my genitalia when my panties are down, when my legs are spread open. All right, when they know that I'm in that private space, and they like to hover and fly around over me in helicopter, and they like to do the same thing with airplanes. Under no circumstances is it going to be heard inside of the apartment. And under all circumstances, it's creating the specific environment, and it is the criminal interference with quiet enjoyment. And so since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and just use this as an opportunity to point to those who are criminally and civilly